Hi, my name's Benji and welcome to Dice vs Cards. Today we bring you the inaugural Versus series of videos where we pit two games against each other in an only semi-serious overview of both. And if I, the completely unreliable judge and jury, feel it's warranted, we'll declare an ultimate winner, aka my favourite of the two. These videos will act as a chronicle, if you like, of what I've been playing, and we'll do our level best to highlight some form of degree of separation between these two games, on a sliding scale between almost identical, so much so that their mothers couldn't tell them apart, all the way through to games that would need a dedicated research team of learned monkeys to find the connection between them. As an added treat, you're 78.5% likely to get a clear and accurate representation of what these games are and how they want to be judged. Alas, today is the day we pit two games against each other that are leagues apart in terms of mechanics, but share one thing in common. That I very much tend to roll my eyes whenever it's suggested these games get to the table. But before I get hit with flames, it's generally people that I love that are doing the suggesting. So strictly speaking, I could theoretically give these games some love and hugs by proxy. Sound fair? But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it's fight time with Dice and Cards. And so, introducing to you first, in the blue corner, weighing in at £1 14 ounces, we have a perennial favourite and many throughout the civilised world. A game of Take That. And no, not that god-awful boy child pop band, but those games where you absolutely, positively must do your level best to screw over your opponent's game plans. Brought to you by Steve, no I didn't write those fighting fantasy game books, Jackson Games. The little box that could, Munchkin Deluxe. And now introducing to you in the red corner, weighing in at a scale busting, actually I have no idea because I'm too cheap to buy this game, Bram Pounds and Stoker Ounces. A themetastic hidden movement game featuring the most famousest vampire the world has ever seen. And no, I don't count those pansy asses of that critical masterpiece Twilight. A bona fide board gaming classic, now in its fourth iteration and currently brought to you by the We Love Bringing You pre-painted minis company WizKids. It's the backpacking vampire himself, Fury of Dracula. So kicking things off, we have Munchkin Deluxe, one of the first games Boy One exchanged cash for back in the day, and one that even me, slyly transporting it up to the loft, could not stop it from crawling back to the table last week. For those of you who have not been exposed to the joyful delights of Munchkin and its many variations and expansions, what you're looking at here is a tongue firmly in cheek, hand management and take that game that does a very good impression of trying not to have many rules at all. Using fantasy type archetypes to present some good old fashioned combat, monster slaying and treasure hunting, you'll be kicking down doors and encountering whatever's on the other side. Be it a 10-legged troll that doesn't live under a bridge, to a slime-filled blob that has a winning personality. I'll leave it to you to decide whether these two are in the game somewhere, but I digress. You have cards in your hand that will help you buff your power levels temporarily, and equipment that does the same thing permanently. But at the forefront of this game is the ability to form alliances and help other players, just because one presumes it will help you on your way to victory. And if you're not feeling quite so charitable, you can instead gleefully kneecap your opponents and watch them cry in their soup as they get comfortably beaten by a crown-wearing miniaturised frog. This leads me to say I just think my logical, somewhat strategically addled brain cannot relax into playing this at all. I watch as my opponents take great satisfaction in the genuine sadness of others, leaving me wishing that everybody gets out with their positivity and happiness intact. I'm keenly aware that this is a great game for a great many people, and a real good choice to get to the table with the right group, but just don't expect me to bring this game to you. Munchkin's opponent this day, on the other hand, is a very strategic, very methodical game, but to my mind at least is also a bit dated mechanically. The first time I played this, I had great hope that this would be my go-to hidden movement game that pits up to 4 hunters cooperatively trying to find the fleet of foot Dracula on a merry goose chase around Europe. But immediately just felt like my turns as a hunter were too limited. One of the main problems for me is that you have a day and then a night action, but you can't move during the night, which meant there are only a limited sequence of actions that you can take, and so it just feels a little bit too prohibitive, leaving me completely unable to express my inner feelings and desires through pieces of cardboard. A truly empty and hollow feeling indeed. To be fair, the player controlling Dracula throughout this game of cat and mouse gets to entertain themselves well enough, keeping ahead of the chasing pack on land or by sea, all the while spreading breadcrumbs and pools of blood to keep the game just interesting enough for everyone else, and then secretly chuckling to themselves each and every time the hunters make a mess of their investigations and let the trail run cold. There are just too many escape routes for Dracula to use if the hunters get close. That's not to say that the hunters can't win, not by any means, it's just not as fulfilling as a chase as I had hoped for. Furthermore, if you do get to catch up to Mr. Exsanguination 2015, the combat system leaves a fair amount to be desired. I do honestly believe there is a game in here that I could absolutely love. The feel and theme of the game and the production are all top notch, but I would like to see a revamp of this game mechanically, bring it up to date with most modern games. I suspect I'm going to get a lot of hate for this opinion, and this is a title that deserves its reverence, but I think probably should have stayed in the 20th century where it belongs. So with all that being said, we talked about two games I do not love, but is one better than the other? Well yeah, strictly speaking, Fury of Dracula is the better game. If you're a board game enthusiast, it's just as likely you'll get a real kick out of this game, but for me I have a choice. Play a more rounded game for 2 to 4 hours that I don't like Fury of Dracula, or play a game I don't like even more for 30 minutes to an hour like Munchkin Deluxe. As such, I think the record books will show a result of a technical victory for Munchkin Deluxe. In about the Fury of Dracula was comfortably winning through 10 rounds on the judges' scorecards, but unfortunately Johnny I Want to Suck Your Blood could not hold on long enough before his primal nature took over and he took his fangs to those ickle Munchkin's carotids, leading to an untimely disqualification. This is one where the record books will show our victor, but those ringside will know how this tussle really went down. We do hope that you've been mildly, moderately, or not even slightly entertained by this video, and if you are, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with what we do.